Anybody got any questions so far on anything we're talking about? Go ahead, brother James.
Real quick question. Hey, your enemy wasn't in the law, though, was it?
What?
You said Christ changed the law when you said love your enemy, but that was already in the law, wasn't it?
Well, the script said hate thine enemies. You know, eye for an eye. These type of things. This and see what we have to understand. Your neighbor is not a Klansman. Your neighbor was always somebody that followed the law, statutes, and judgments. You can't convince nobody that don't read the scripture of what the scripture is saying, so you can't love them. You can't go next door because Christ told me that, and he got on full Klan regalia.
Yeah, Nazi or something.
Nigga, if you don't get away from here with that cake. No, y'all, we have to understand your neighbor was always there, but Christ always told us, love thine. He said it has been written that you should hate your enemies. But I love what it say. Give me that recording so we get it verbatim. But Christ said, I tell you, do this, because your enemy gonna look just like you. He gonna be of your same household. He's gonna be the one causing all the problems in your life. Who is it at work? Man, you know that nigga, that Uncle Tom nigga told on me. Now, them white folks didn't know I was taking an extra 20 minutes on break. Nor that I had been stealing copy and paper till they gave that nigga another position. We have to understand why Christ changed some things, because we were going into a bad state. We were going into captivity. I'll get the recording here and get you that exactly before we leave here today.
Leviticus 19, what, 18?
Well, what Christ said, it has been said of eye for an eye, whatever it is. Just what the law was under the order of Aaron.
Leviticus 19, verse 17 and 18. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbors thyself.
See, that's our neighbor, any of thy brothers. But outside of Israel is what you're speaking of. That in the law it was talking about enemies. It talked about other nations. It said when we come into this captivity, if you find this, you can't give this to the children of Israel. You have to give this to the other people, because they are outside of the law. I'm talking about under the order of Aaron first. Christ just switched a lot of things when we came under the order of Melchizedek. Like he switched, if two witnesses catch a man in adultery, you stone both him and the woman immediately. But Christ changed that order, because when they brought the woman that was caught in adultery, and he said, let him without sin cast the first stone. And then he dropped down and started writing in the dirt. And when he looked up, wasn't nothing but the woman. He said, what are those accused at? She said, they're nothing but me. He said, I'm not going to accuse you to go and sin no more. But the reason they left is because if you caught her in the very act, then you caught the man too. Where he at? He had a stone in his hand ready to kill her too, because he don't want it to be known it was him caught. And Christ said, let him without sin. What's that?
I don't want to say, when we talk about this the other day, me and somebody else, the thing is, when he said, was they without sin cast the first stone, everybody died. Everybody died.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, I'm going to get that to the point, brother. Let me get that to the point. Yeah. Go ahead, read on, y'all. We're going to speed it on up, y'all. Go ahead, read it in Ecclesiastes, Mally.
Okay, this is in the Apocrypha, y'all. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. Another thing about enemies and friends.
See, before Christ came, all nations were enemies to us. Every nation was an enemy to us because they were outside of the law of God. But when Christ came, he allowed other nations to come in. The wild olive branch to come in. Right. So we couldn't look at them anymore. This was the parable in Acts 10th chapter that a lot of people, preachers, say that meant you can eat pork, because Peter had the vision. Peter kill and eat 3 unclean beasts, let down 3 times. But Peter said he pondered the vision and said, not so, my Lord. And the Lord said, whatever God has cleansed, calls all not common unclean. So right there, please, right there, you can eat that whole sandwich in your own arm. It was cleansed by God right there. But if you keep reading to verse 28, Peter understood that God told me not to call any man common or unclean. Because he doubted the vision. He like, I walk with Christ. I know he ain't telling me to eat unclean meat now. And then we got Isaiah 66 where he said if you caught eating swine on the second coming, you're going to be consumed together.
That's right.
With the wicked. What is Christ saying here? Right. But he understood that other nations were coming into the fold. That's what Peter understood. Because Cornelius, who was the Italian, was coming to him.
Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. Okay. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be warned